think by now you guys all know that I am racing 70.3 Worlds in Marbella in what is just over a week's time. And naturally, I want to be as fast as possible, but I run out of time for any more training gains. However, there is still time for me to get a little bit quicker without getting fitter. And for that, I've enlisted the help of Ollie from GCN. I've heard that he's a wizard at finding many marginal gains, and I need all of them. So I'm intrigued to see what you and I can learn from Ollie. All right, well, welcome to the GTN set, Ollie. Lovely to have you here, and I am excited to see what you've got in store. What suggestions? How are you going to convince me of things I need to upgrade?
Well, we've got a lot, and the good news is I think we can make you quite a lot faster, which is exciting. I like the sound of that. Without you getting any fitter. But the first thing is I've been looking at the course, and Marbella is a pretty hilly event, right?
I know.
And so the big question that a lot of triathletes I know have when they're looking at a hilly event is that what's faster, TT bike or road bike?
So many people are asking me that question already.
Exactly.
And I'm asking myself and you that question.
We're going to work that out with science. But the first thing we need to do is to get your total system weight. Okay. This is really important for a number of things we're going to do to optimise you. So we need to get your bike, you in kit, on the scales and see what it's all weighing. With your water that you're going to be taking as well.
All right, I've given you the weight numbers. What are you going to do with those?
Right, well, this is pretty cool because you previously visited the wind tunnel.
I have.
And that's given us some really useful information. And then combined with that and combined with what we reckon you can do in terms of power, we can work out what we think is going to be the best option, whether it's a road bike or a TT bike. And I'm going to be able to make some other suggestions to you in terms of kit. And I think the really cool thing about this is, well, you're going to be able to see if this stuff works and helps Heather when you actually do the race in Marbella on the 8th of November. So if you're not yet already subscribe so that you can see if I was right and did actually help. Oh, no pressure.
Or if I do what Ollie tells me.
Yeah. The crazy thing is when I've plugged in the numbers and I've been using, you can use websites like Best Bike Split. I'm using my Windsock in this case. They're really useful tools. And what you tend to see is that even on a course like this, which is really hilly, it features two big climbs, a TT bike is the faster option. Even for you. And I know you're surprised by that because your TT bike weighs like well over 10 kilos.
Yeah, it's heavy.
Yeah, and your total system weight is about 73 kilos, or 73, 74 kilos, which is actually really good. That's not much. So from the wind tunnel, we know that your CDA was about 0.24. Okay,
right.
Decent CDA in the wind tunnel. The good news is that not everyone can visit the wind tunnel.
Yeah.
I understand that, but you can get sort of 90% of the way there without visiting one.
Yeah.
But what people will want to know is the difference between a road bike and a TT bike on this course, as an example, okay? So if we then, at the moment, model you with your TT bike and your CDA, which we know, it's giving a time on the course of about 3.5 hours for you to complete this bike course. If we change that by lowering the weight, so I'm going to lower the weight by the system weight by 3 kilograms, and I'm also going to increase your CDA, how aero you are, because the road bike is less.
Yeah,
less
no, I agree with that. But just are you?
Yeah, so I'm going to increase that. Well, I can guesstimate it.
Yeah. Okay.
So because we've done so much aero testing in the past, I can make an accurate guesstimation as to what your CDA would be on that. And so you actually do come, there's not a huge amount in it, but you're coming out slower on the road bike by about 3 minutes.
3 minutes, okay.
Okay, so on paper, TT bike, way faster choice, right? But, and I think you know where I'm gonna go with this, it's the thing of like efficacy versus effectiveness.
Okay.
So we know that on paper it's faster, but what about in the real world? Because it's not that simple. Like you're not going to be in the tri bars the whole time. So how do you feel?
And this is the thing, because I literally did my first training ride on it on the weekend.
Yeah.
Like, I ride my road bike. Well, I don't ride very much. I ride on the turbo, tend to not go on my TT bars. And then I ride outside on the weekend on my road bike because I just still have this thing that I like, it's more fun than a TT bike. But I feel like we've done so many videos now that I actually don't have a choice anymore, that all these videos of having my bike fit, going to the wind tunnel, doing this, that I'm going to have to just get my head around committing. And it's too late now to sort of try. I do still want to go and do some hills around home and actually do my own little experiment, but I don't really know what I'm going to try and find out from that, of riding the road on the TT bike. But yeah, I think Mark would cry if I rode my road bike, so
yeah,
I don't want Mark to cry.
Well, the thing you've got to remember is that you should always train for the demands of your event.
I know.
And I think that if you did just, and this is important for the viewers at home, if you were just training on your road bike all the time, then there's a good chance you would be more effective on your road bike and you would be faster on a road bike. But if you train on your TT bike and you adapt your body to ride that, it will be faster. Yeah. Right, you're going to train on your TT bike, you're going to get more used to that, and we're going to use that. But the next big thing is tyres. Okay. Now, tyres is the biggest bang for buck upgrade that you can make to your bike. I've said this loads of times on loads of GCN videos, and I'm sure it's been said on GTN videos, and there'll be people that are going, oh yeah, we know this. But the reason why I'm saying it is because I still see people turning up to triathlons and to bike races with crap tyres. Gator skins are an incredible example because while they do have like puncture protect, bulletproof.
I know, that's why I love them.
But they are so slow. And there's independent published data on this, but compared to, something like a GP 5000 TT or a Pirelli P0 RS, which are kind of the two leading performance tubeless tyres, you're chucking away about 25 watts.
Okay, that is big.
It's massive.
Yeah.
It's massive. That's like adding 4 kilos to your bike.
Yeah.
There are faster tyres than that, so you can, go for a dedicated TT tyre, but they typically have very little puncture protection. And for the demands of a triathlete trying to finish an event like this, it's better to have that bit of puncture protection. The good news is like those tyres now are really good. So things like the Conti and the GP 5000 TT.
Yeah, I have got good tyres on there.
Well, I've got some good ones for you, I think. So, and then the Pirelli P0 RS is rapid. So that would be what I'd suggest, and also 28 millimeter. And the other thing is tubeless. How do you feel about tubeless?
I've used it on my mountain bike and it was great, but I just ride whatever's on my bike, to be honest, which is really bad. So I don't really I'm not really too bothered as long as it means I will get around the course without having to fight with a tube. I do think if I had a puncture, I would probably take about 20 minutes to change it. So, if it's going to save me that worry.
Well, it should help with that. One of the things, though, is that there is often a sort of logistical concern for people doing triathlons like this, is you've got to travel with it. And so there's that thing of deflating your tyres in the bike box. So what I would suggest is don't fully deflate your tyres.
Yeah.
I don't deflate mine at all. And then you don't have to worry about the sealant going everywhere and all the rest of it. But have them set up tubeless, fly with it, maybe deflate them a little bit.
Are you coming out to Marbella? We'll bring you on holiday, Ollie.
Yeah, I don't mind visiting Marbella. No, I'd be up for that. But yeah, that would be the way to go. So the next thing, that's the next big sort of low-hanging fruit in terms of free speed that you can get, is your tyre pressure. Do you pay attention to your tyre pressure?
I actually weirdly, I don't. I normally just give them a feel, and even before the race, I just check that it's okay, that feels about right. I literally do. And then every now and then, when I like a bit soft, I'll pump them up enough that I don't have to pump them for ages. Yeah. So I just give them a squeeze.
Okay, so you're not alone here. A lot of people do this as well.
And then I do, if on the UK roads, I allow a little bit more squeezage.
A little bit more squeezage, scientific, it. Well, this is a big one. And the way to explain this to people, again, this stuff's been independently tested. And your bad tyre, your Conti Gator skin that's slow, can be faster than your nice fast tyre.
Yeah.
A bad tyre at the optimum pressure is typically faster than a good tyre at the wrong pressure.
Right.
It makes that much difference.
Okay, I didn't know it was that big.
Pressure is like you're just chucking watts away. So the good news is that you can sort this out pretty much for free. What I would suggest everyone does is go on the Silka tyre pressure calculator, one of my favourite websites. And this is just a free tool to use online. So we got your system weight from earlier. So we'll plug that in. We'll put that in as 74 kilos to account for you carrying a load of gels. So this is your total system weight, your bike, everything. Yeah. Then we're going to pick the surface condition. So I'm going to go new pavement because they're pretty good roads out there. Okay. Measured tyre width, I know, is 29 mil. Ideally, you do that with verniers and measure them because a lot of tyres don't come up as they say.
Interesting.
And then we're going to go high performance. We're going to get your average speed in there. So there you go.
Oh.
That's coming out. Is that close to what you would normally
it's probably... I don't want to commit to a number, but it's lower than what I would normally put in my tyres.
If you're overinflating your tyres, that would slow you down and it's going to make you less comfortable.
Yeah.
The good thing as well is I've got a thing for you in my bag, which is a digital pressure gauge. So you can get really nerdy on this because the pressure gauge on your pump is typically not very accurate. So they're often like plus or minus 10 PSI accuracy on them. So I've got a very accurate little digital one you can take with you.
Thank you.
And then you can dial that in and get that spot on. Right, the next thing we need to talk about and sort of optimise is nutrition. So what is your plan? What do you need to carry? What's your...
I haven't quite dialed that one in yet because it's like the target is different to what's the realistic sort of number. I think the target is around 60 to 70 grams an hour, but most in the race I've managed is 40 recently. So it'll be somewhere around that. It's going to be purely on the bike in the form of chews and gels, and I just like water and electrolyte in my bottles. So the bottles will be simple. So I need all my fuel in my bento box, basically.
Okay. I think that's sensible to carry your like precision gels and chews on you and rely on that stuff. Though the hydration thing becomes interesting because on this bike course, it's out the gate, you're going uphill for an hour.
I know.
So if you can keep the weight down, that's useful.
I'm definitely keen to do that, yeah.
But it's the trade-off because, like I said, over the course of the entire bike course, a kilo is only an hour and only a minute and 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So considering that climb is just, the first sort of quarter of the bike course, it's not, or it's the first third, we'll say. It's a third of that. So do you know what the options are for refilling?
I mean, this is the thing, because it's obviously like I can't refill my Aero bottle that I've got on my down tube at the moment, but I personally normally just have one other bottle like I've had on at the moment, but I know that's not very Aero, and then I just have the option of just throwing that one into the recycling. You just pick up another bottle, so you don't have to then refill, you just literally have it on you, and you can either have an electrolyte or water depending on what I've drunk. And that's what I've done in the past, although admittedly in the past I also haven't drunk very much, so
if there is water stations...
so there is one, like, I think I've looked on the map, it's on the way near the top of the hill.
Okay,
so
that's a good location.
There's three aid stations.
Okay.
So, and I think it's on a slight hill, so you're also not going too fast because you don't obviously, they wouldn't put it on a downhill anyway because it wouldn't be particularly
or just
safe.
I mean, an aid station taking water and feeds on an uphill is always better than one, say, where you've actually would have a lot of momentum, even if it's on the flat and you have to pull in, you're just going to chuck a load of time away.
Yeah, no, I'm aware of that, for sure.
Okay, well, I would say be mindful of that and then think about, what you're doing.
I do, I think I need to sort of dial that one in a little bit more and sort of work out like how hot it's going to be and stuff.
But I'd say it's important to remember you're only losing around 15, 20 seconds on that first climb.
It's sort of the mental aspect, I think.
Yeah, so, if you're carrying a kilo of water, you're only losing about 15, 20 seconds on the climb. And so the trade-off of like, if you have to stop and pick up more water,
that's true.
All of a sudden it's like, well, maybe it's just easier if you just carry it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. One to think about for sure, yeah.
Next big area is clothing. Now, the big thing I would say that informs clothing choices that you should think about is what are the conditions you're going to be riding in? Like, what's the temperature going to be, okay? So I had a look at Marbella in November, and it's a nice temperature. The average is 20 degrees, like high. Yeah. But you're in the morning, so it's going to be cooler than that, which is pretty pleasant. Like on a bike, it's not going to be super, super hot. Yeah. Otherwise I'd be recommending like heat training and stuff like that, but I don't think it's going to be.
I mean, hopefully, I'm not going to need a jacket for the downhill.
No. The other thing, well, the good thing with the clothing is, particularly around like bike helmets. Mm-hmm. So I saw like in the tunnel, you tested a variety of different helmets, and you've got your sort of road helmets, which are more vented, and then you've got the TT Met helmets. And the good news is in that temperature, I'd say absolutely go for the TT helmet. Okay. Like I don't think the temperature overheating is going to be a big issue for you. It is individual, but I would say 100% go for that. Okay. But take the road helmet with you, just in case it turns out to be a really hot day. Yeah. And you've got the option to put it on.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Like I would totally do that. Okay. The interesting thing was when I looked at the wind tunnel data, you wearing like a Met drone was like 2 minutes 45 seconds quicker than if you wore just the standard Met Trenta vented helmet. Okay, that is a lot. That's massive, right? Yeah. That's absolutely huge.
But then I guess I'm also not going to be in that position that I was in the wind tunnel for when I'm going uphill or,
It's still helping you. It's still more aero. This is a big misconception. People think that aero doesn't matter unless you're going like 40k an hour or something.
Which is what we tested at.
Yeah, no. Even at more modest speeds, even when climbing, aero matters. Like it's still like the main thing you have to overcome, even at slow climbing speeds. And what you typically see, and this is a really important thing for people to understand, is that even at slower speeds, you're not getting the same watt savings from aero equipment, but you're on the course longer because you're going slower. So it's still helping you. And what you tend to see, it's a weird quirk of the maths, you tend to see overall the savings in terms of time sort of are the same.
Yeah.
It's just but it's because you're not saving as much, but you're on course longer.
So the percentages.
So it works out roughly the same. Yeah. The other one is calf guards. Aero calf guards.
Do you know how long I take in transition as it is? I think my last transition was about 7 minutes of just like putting on my actual socks.
Well, maybe that's something you need to work on as well. Optimise your transition. But aero calf guards typically make more difference than deep section wheels. Okay. Like it is nuts.
Like, I know the companies claim that because they're obviously trying to sell their calf guards.
Yeah, but there's other people have independently tested them as well, and they're like, yeah, wow, this is bad.
One thing I have to point out, I don't have hairy legs.
It doesn't matter. Your legs are still cylindrically shaped, which aerodynamically is a terrible shape, and it's just improving the aerodynamic shape of your cylinders. So, like, it makes a huge difference. And it's become that thing of, we always bang on about tyres. Yep, massive bang for buck improvement, but aero socks and aero calf guards, huge.
Should I then be looking to cover my shoes, or is that too much? As well.
Yeah, I think and it's also the thing. It's slowing you down in transition both times. Yeah. Getting them off is a pain. Calf guards, I think, is the way to go.
I mean, if it's a wetsuit swim, I will consider. If it's not, then I'm less keen because I've got to put them on and off.
But can you not swim in aero calf guards?
You're not allowed to unless it's a wetsuit swim.
Really? Yeah. They don't allow
it? Yeah, because they could be advantage in the swim as well.
Really?
Yeah. Your suit has to finish above your knees for a swim skin or a non-wetsuit swim.
Could it be a wetsuit swim? I mean,
it could be. We're not really sure. So that's one to consider, and sort of closer to the time, I'll get a bit more of an idea of what the rumours are of whether it's going to be.
I would say you're going to easily be looking at about 2.5 minutes quicker with aero calf guards. So the next thing we're going to do to speed you up is I'm going to place it under the umbrella term of marginal gains, and to do that, we'll go down to the maintenance set and we'll do some changes to your bike. Okay. Before we get on to the marginal gains, one thing I realised I've forgotten to ask you about was how you pace a bike leg like this normally.
I have an idea of my sort of average power that I want to hit, and I'm aware that I can go over, like I do go over obviously up the hill, and then sort of, and I quite like a hill early on because then I almost feel like I've banked my power a little bit. And with the gear ratio I've got at the moment, I don't put much power out going down because I soon run out of gears. So yeah, I do a combination of riding to feel and riding to numbers that I sort of look at. But this year I've been kind of getting fitter so quickly, it's actually, I've had to go by feel a bit more because I don't really know where I'm at each time.
So the gears thing, we can actually look at that. We've got different options. We can change your chain rings. We can put a bigger cassette on the back. One of the great things about Shimano 105 is it does take a 36 cassette.
Okay,
and looking at the course and looking at the profile, some of the gradients are pretty steep in places. And so
I always love another gear. I never say no to another gear.
So I think that's something we go for. I'm going to get one ordered for you and we can get that fitted. But the other thing is just with regards to pacing, people often don't realise how much faster you can be through pacing. And this is another thing you can look at on things like my windsock, which is that if you just flat pace, so you think that on this duration you can average maybe about 160 watts, okay? Now, if you just flat paced that, you would be much slower than if you put out more power where power matters most.
I totally get that. Like, naturally, if I'm riding into a headwind, I'll ride harder and vice versa, because that's sort of just is logical to me, so yeah.
Now, the amount by which you should try and swing that, so basically the limiting factor is you and your physiology. You don't want to go into the red, you don't want to go too hard. But if in an ideal world, if you could do anything, it's like the harder you can go in the hard bits and the easier you can go in the fast bits, that will be faster overall. That's like, so some
getting the slow bit out the way quickly, basically, as quick as you can.
But any swing is going to be better. So, for example, on the climbs, if you're trying to average 160 overall, if you can do 180 on the climbs and then just back off completely on the descents, that's going to make you faster overall. So, and you're saving energy.
I think it's just it's the difference of if I was just doing a bike ride, I'd be like happy to go way more, but it's the fact of like I want to feel okay when I'm running.
The other thing that we were going to talk about as well, I just wanted to mention, is the use of the tri-bars. So don't make the mistake of thinking that aero doesn't matter on the climb. Okay, when it's really steep and you're going really slow, don't stress.
Where's that dial then?
It's if I would say if you can be in the tri-bars, be in the tri-bars.
Really? In my head, I've always had the 15 miles an hour or 25k an hour, I'm out.
If you need that break, take the break out of the tri-bars. But if you can be in them, be in them, because it's making you faster. Like it's aero still matters on the climb, even at low speeds. And the other thing is on the bits of the course, and this is a good rule of thumb for people to apply to their own rides, is on the bits of the course where you start to feel it's getting really quick, like on downhills or fast tailwind sections, your brain instantly needs to go into aero mode, and you need to think, right, I really need to just concentrate on aero, especially on this bit, because you'll get more bang for buck from it. So in those bits, really concentrate on trying to get your head as low as possible, shrugging your shoulders in, like really just be in the mindset of that, like really think about it. So marginal gains, let's hit it. So your bike's got 105 on it, it's great. 105 is amazing.
Better than it used to be.
It's always been really good. I mean, it's been used to win national time trial titles in the UK. Like, it's not slow. Its main disadvantage is that it's a bit heavier than Ultegra and Dura-Ace, but in terms of the mechanical efficiency of it, it's brilliant, with a couple of key differences, which we will rectify. So the first thing is the Jockey wheels. The Jockey wheels on 105 use bushings rather than bearings, which are a little bit less efficient. So I would recommend always upgrading to like the Ultegra Jockey wheels. But in your case, we can go better than that. So I had some of these lying around, as I do. Some nice ceramic speed Jockey wheels. Which are really fast.
I feel like they shouldn't be on my bike for riding in the UK. We should maybe save them.
We'll save those for Marbella. But like, I mean, that's about what? Like, it's not much, but it adds up. The other thing is the chain. So 105 chains are a little bit less mechanically efficient than Ultegra and Dura-Ace. So again, we're going to upgrade that. I'm going to swap that out. And that again it's a bit less than a watt, but these add up.
You are working hard for my watts here.
These add
up. I like
it. But we're going to go even better than that, because we're going to wax the chain. So we've got the super secret chain blend from Silka. Also, though, speed chip. Right. So the speed chip, it contains like special wax in it, and it has special additives which reduce the friction of the wax. It means that the wax doesn't last as long. But for a race, this is like a race optimized chain.
So is this something I need to literally do the week before or like a few days before?
No, we're going to do it for you now.
Oh, okay.
And then I'll give you the chain.
Right.
And then you basically put the chain on, like before you travel out there.
Yeah.
Then it takes 15 minutes to break it in.
Yeah.
So
pre-ride the day before.
Your pre-ride openers the day before. That'll sort the chain, that'll get it broken in. With this treatment on, the chain, you're looking at about like 8 hours. After 8 hours, the performance will go down.
Got you. Yeah.
Okay, of ride time. Yeah. So for your bike leg and your openers ride the day before, perfect.
Yeah.
Like it'll well within its lifespan. So this like a lot of the top guys are using this.
I've never even heard of this stuff. So
yeah, but we'll get the chain in the speed chip, which will help. The other thing that I was going to look at is you've got your nice saddlebag here. I was like, blooming hell, that's like half a kilo.
It is heavy.
I mean, there's some easy stuff you can do with this. So like we're going in here, right? You've got your bits. You've got.
I can't remember what I've put in there.
This is all decent stuff. Like you've got a little multi-tool in there. I mean, I would be tempted not to take a multi-tool.
Yeah, I mean, it is my sort of just extra. I had it for Weymouth because the course I thought was like really puncher, sort of like the risk was high and just for UK roads.
So there's a couple of changes I'd make here. One is I would have some tubeless plugs.
Okay.
Because you're going to run tubeless and it can seal itself. It might not seal everything. If you've got plugs, you quickly, if you do get a puncture, it can be much quicker to fix with a plug. And that will, I mean, you're talking like, 95% of the time if you get a puncture, the combination of either the tubeless system sealing itself or then sealing with the help of a plug will get you there. Yeah. You're going to be really unlucky if you have to start putting a tube in. And so plugs are really great because you just basically get the little hole in, you get your plug in the other hand and you just whack it in and then you're good to go. And so it's saving your time if you do get a puncture. But the other thing I noticed is this thing, big fat standard butyl tube. Yeah. So this weighs about 120 grams. This is a little TPU tube. These weigh like 35 grams. So
it looks so dainty.
Yeah, and it takes up no space. But the other thing is,
it's like a swimming hat.
Yeah, but if you do have to use this, added bonus, it's got lower rolling resistance than this one. So you're saving a few watts as well.
All right. Well, if you're kind enough to lend it to me, I'll accept.
You can keep that. There you go, another present. So like that is, think about like all the little bits of sort of system weight and stuff and think about like what if scenarios. So for example, like when I said about if you need to put a plug in, I wouldn't have the plugs buried inside the saddlebag. Yeah. I'd put the plugs like maybe in your bento box or somewhere where it's like quick. You can grab it quick and quickly sort that out. So yeah, it's just kind of like thinking about optimizing all of these things in sort of the what if scenarios as well. But yeah. I do know we've got a few more bits to go on the bike as well that we can optimise that are coming. Like you've got a fancy pants cockpit, Mark was telling me. Yeah. And some other bits.
Might have to play around with the hydration. Well, I think I have to, so.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Yeah.
Cool.
I think, you're going to smash it.
Well, I mean, I feel like now there's real pressure for me I've got 5 weeks left of training. Let's see what I can do because the effort that you guys are going to is quite considerable. I'm very, very grateful.
5 weeks is more than enough time to get some really good adaptation on a TT bike.
Yeah.
And you will feel much more comfortable on it. If you just ride your TT bike from now, I know what you mean, like on country lanes like where we live, road bikes are more fun. But you'll probably get some QOMs on your training rides.
Yeah. Well, I also just need to hope for the nice weather because I just don't like taking a nice bike out in bad weather. But fingers crossed.
It'll be all right.
Cool. Well, Ollie, thank you so much for your time and your future time for all this work. I'm going to leave you to it and probably go and do some training. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed it and you've been following along with the story. If you haven't yet subscribed, now is the time to do so because I am going to be riding this bike with the input of Mark and Ollie in its finest glory. So keep tuned for that one. And thanks again.
Yeah, no worries. Just make sure you sort out my ticket to Marbella.
Oh, yeah. Bring my mechanic with me.